Hello everyone, welcome to YouTube Developers Live. We have an exciting show for you today. We'll be talking about Interesante. Did I get that right?
Yeah, perfect.
And let me introduce our hosts and guests. In the studio, I have Jeremy Walker. How are you doing, Jeremy?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good. I think I am quite excited that we have this show up and running now that we had a few technical difficulties getting started.
A couple technical difficulties, yep.
All right, and then on my left, Antonio Altamirano. How are you doing, Antonio?
Good. Thank you. Thanks.
Great. And then in the studio, we also have Johan Kam.
Hi, nice to meet you. Great to be here.
Great. And then we will have Pablo Gamba joining us live as well on the Hangout from Argentina. Can you hear us, Pablo?
Yeah, perfect. Hi, Sharek. Thanks for inviting us.
Great.
Nice to be here.
All right, so let's get started. So Antonio, tell us a little bit about your company. How did you come up with the idea, and what is the problem you're trying to solve?
All right. Well, first, thank you very much for having us here. It's very, very exciting to be here. The idea of Interesante came from the fact that we saw major need for the Latino market in the U.S. and in Latin America to be served by a tool that is culturally sensitive and culturally aware, as well as geographically aware. So we all use the tools that are out there for social networking, and what we were lacking is that connection to our own culture, to our to where we come from, and to the things that matter most to us Latinos, and to the way that we communicate online. So the tools that exist right now work, but they don't take into consideration the fact that we have different needs in terms of communication and in terms of interests. So
hence the name Interesante?
Exactly.
My Spanish isn't all that good, but I figured that one out.
Yes. So Interesante comes into the picture after we it's an evolution of a prior product. Mm-hmm. So what we did is we wanted to share our interests, our favorite quotes online. So we started just developing this, and we realized that a lot of people were coming in and connecting with what we were doing, because we were targeting this particular population. We were doing it for us, and a lot of people connected with that. So we saw this, but the brand name did not make a lot of sense at that point. It was called Proverbio, and it was too narrow of a set. So what we did is we were thinking about a word that will unite interest across South America. So what we wanted to do is we wanted a word that is easy to understand. It's playful and is understood by everyone, because people that are watching this show, they will know that there are many differences between the Spanish that is spoken in Argentina versus the Spanish that is spoken in Mexico. But the word Interesante brings all of that together. Mm-hmm. So that is what we stand for. We want to be the place where Latinos can find their interest online and on mobile.
Sounds like you performed a proverbial pivot.
Yeah.
And became Interesante.
Yes.
Okay, very interesting history. So I was thinking perhaps rather than describing in words of what the product does, maybe you could give us a little demo?
Yes, completely. Yeah.
Sure, maybe we'll try the demo.
So, great. So this is the landing page, and I want to show you the landing page so that there are a few steps. Interesante is very easy to use. So basically what you have to do is you have to create your account, and you start to see these interests that are relevant to you. So as you roll over, you see this button that says Me Interesa, and if you're interested in that button and that interests, then you click in there, and we classify it automatically. So and you can see that the collection is automatically set, and we categorize that collection. So you can select from a wide variety of interests, and here you can see that Android is very popular in Latin America, so that's a very popular item in Interesante, as well as travel for places that are not found in sites like Expedia or anything like that. This is just very localized type of travel that is growing exponentially in Latin America. Then with
so if you want to find a destination that isn't popular yet, but it's cool, you go on Interesante?
Yes,
All right.
exactly. So then with that, we take that and we have Johan here that will speak more about that. But we have algorithms that, as I said, they're culturally aware, and we help you discover new interests. So for instance, if because I am into Interesante, then I see this mug with the logo of Interesante on it. You know? So, and also as an addition to that, you can collect them. So you can collect this interest and you can select your own collection. But the point here is that we don't want people to be worrying too much about what they have to do, or like where do they have to put it. So we built the intelligence in the back end, and we take your interest, we auto categorize them, and we use that so that we can serve better interest to you. So and of course we're in mobile as well, and we'll be showing that later. If you want, I'm going to go really quickly to one of the actual screenshots of the product. So for instance, this is an interest that that many people, so this is in Spanish, so basically it says that they're not these are not bags under my eyes, they're just accumulated ideas. So it's perfect for what we're doing. So you see that 8 people have collected that. You have access to those people, but most interestingly, you have access to all the interests that relate to that particular thing. So and we're doing the same with video. So this again, this is something that's very popular. This is Sofia Vergara, and very popular in our site. And what we have, oh, we're live there now. We have a variety of. Let me talk about the integration with YouTube in particular. So what we do is, let me just get to the right URL so I can show you. Okay, so so in this case, we have this video that it is basically, it talks about how difficult it is to understand Spanish. So it goes through like 10 different words and explains the different meanings in different countries. So, you know, this also supports the fact that we need a place where we can collect our common interests, not only our differences. So what we did is we integrated with YouTube, and you can see all of these recommendations that we get directly from YouTube, and the moment that you click on one of them, then it creates another interest on Interesante, so that you continue to build your database of interest that is personal to you, and we can do a better job at suggesting things to you proactively.
And great, and that is using the Topics API that we'll talk about a little later with Pablo about.
Yes.
Great. And then you also have a mobile app, right?
Correct.
Should we try to look at the mobile app as well?
Yeah. So so what we did in the mobile app is we wanted to have a different utility, because mobile is such a different platform that we wanted to make it quick for our users to be able to find their interests. So for instance, right now we're in the category section, and what we do is we take into consideration the activity that you have, and we suggest interests. For instance, what we're showing right now on the screen is the entertainment category, and you can just swipe through all of them and see what's interesting to you and what is not interesting to you as well. So in the top right hand corner, you'll see a counter. So that counter just basically tells you, hey, you've done this much today, and we're going to tell you how you stand versus other users. So you can also discover other users as well. But mainly what we focus on is what is interesting to people, and through that it is a channel for discovering interests more than people themselves. So you remove a lot of the friction between, you know, who is the person who's recommending me. We're going directly into what is interesting to the people. Yeah.
So the idea here is, you know, I may have many different interests, and someone may not be all that interested in me, but they might be interested in a particular area that I may be collecting information about. I may be curating videos and so forth, right? So then they would actually follow that interest, subscribe to it.
And the cool thing is that I don't have to actually go to your profile and choose what I like. The system will tell me, oh, because you like technology, or because you like a certain topic, and because of your activity, then we're going to take one of your interests and suggest it to Leandro, for instance.
Great.
So so then it's built in within the discovery and the experience of the app.
Great. So now I know Johan works on figuring out exactly the mathematics behind the interest recommendations, and then we also have Pablo on the Hangout. So why don't we talk a little bit more about the technical aspects of this integration. Let's see if we can bring in Pablo online here.
Can you hear us, Pablo? Great. Can you talk a little bit about how the integration with the app came about?
Well, as something Antonio said, our main use of the YouTube API was to get related video. On Interesante, user has the opportunity to create interests with YouTube video, right? So when another user opens a video on Interesante, what we have done is to call YouTube's API and also use the free-based topics that they provide to get related videos that we can recommend to that user. So this provides the user with a lot of more content that may be interesting for him. And also, with just a couple of clicks, the user can add those new YouTube's related videos to his collections on Interesante. So it's like we are having two features. One is recommendations, and the other is letting the user add this content to Interesante. Okay. That feature is it's live on Interesante.com now, and we have another feature that is still on beta. We are still working on it, which is basically the possibility to import your playlist, uploaded videos, favorites, etc., from your YouTube account or from another public account. But this is still beta. We don't have this feature on production right now.
So let's go back a little bit, because you said something that I'm really interested in. Our new version of the Data API, which launched recently, and Jarek posted it, uses one of the new features is the Topics API, which uses Freebase a little bit. So I know, and we want to get into this with you, if you could talk a little bit about that. So it sounds like you're importing and you're using that portion of the Data API to kind of get recommendations from other people and kind of categorize them. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Technically, what we are doing is once we have the video, we get the video ID and we query the API to get topics related from Freebase related to that video ID. And once we get that topics with our algorithm also, we define which topics we are going to get to use, and then query again the API to get those related videos. Right? So it's pretty important to query that Freebase topics now.
And did you want to add anything to that? Because I know you really jump into the details of all that stuff.
Yeah, I'll talk about the algorithms without talking about the algorithms. So I think when I came to Interessante, the question was, is there something unique about Latinos in the most general sense? Having lived there, I think I know there is, but the question was, can we capture that? And what's the point? So the idea was, you have two extremes here. You can go and look at everybody in the world and try to understand everybody in the world. What happens is you lose your resolution. On the other extreme today, you can probably track someone as a person and get to know them very well. But that wasn't what we were after, because we want to show them, we bring them into the world. So Interessante is right in the middle. We're trying to find the community that you're part of. So you don't have to look at the whole world and just get lost, but you're not limited to your own little world. So we are about finding Latino communities that emerge naturally from the data. And so one more point here, we have two things going on. We have algorithms that create communities algorithmically by standard Markov-based sampling algorithms. And there's an interesting phenomenon which I want to thank Pablo for and the whole Interesante team. The interface is designed and it was working. So in addition to algorithmic community, we have self-organizing communities in Interessante. That is just a wonderful sort of order out of chaos emerging in Interessante. From an algorithmic point of view, lots of people interested in self-organizing community, and Interessante is a great example for.
So are you modeling that in your basement right now with Markov chains and such?
Yeah, we are on. Well,
this show amazes me because it's been a long time since I had to read about Markov chains, and this was not my favorite topic in school.
but it's so cool. Well, we're really getting to know Latinos in Argentina, Mexico, in the United States, and finding out what their communities are, and they're very diverse. And I mean, we've had Guatemalan writers, school teachers, the Red Cross, everybody stepping in, self-organizing, and then we can support them behind the scenes with our algorithms, which is sort of a socially aware way of using algorithms, and hopefully we can do some statistical sampling that makes a difference.
Right. And just to add something, you mentioned the Red Cross. So the Red Cross right now is in Mexico. They have this great videos about how about social responsibility, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't have a good way to get out the word out. So they're using us to do that. And the advantage is that by using the integration that we have with YouTube and their own videos, they are able they don't focus only in one video, in one message. They have an audience that comes in, and then they see that there are other relevant topics that they can learn about,
mm-hmm.
that is related to the Red Cross and what they're doing in Mexico.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot going on in Mexico that is being communicated via video, and what is lacking is a good platform that connects everyone culturally.
Yeah, I think we talked about that, about pivoting earlier on the show, and I think that one of the ways in which I see you using the API is that by user sharing the video, you can actually find what's related and have them actually explore things that maybe they didn't know existed, and this uses the topics API and then the Freebase on the backend to figure out all the terms that might be related.
Yeah, Freebase is pretty amazing. It gives us a look into the whole world, and it made our algorithmic development so much faster because that's our starting point, and
mm-hmm.
refining and is much easier than trying to build Freebase from scratch. So we love Freebase.
Do you find that Freebase's coverage of the Latin America Spanish terms is adequate for your use case?
Nothing is. I mean, in a way, I have to say the Latino community is underserved a little bit.
Yeah.
So what we're finding is, in addition to searching existing content, Interesante is continuously creating content that wasn't on the web before.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
So that is not in Freebase yet, and we'll have to figure out ways to ultimately bring back to the community what we're gathering.
I'm sure the Freebase folks will be happy to have it.
Yeah, they'd love to hear about that. Just quick to jump back into technical, and Pablo, can you tell us a little bit, if you can, about I'm always curious what you used on the back end, what language you actually used to do your implementation.
Well, I can brief you something about our technical aspect. In the backend, we are using like 3 different languages. We are using PHP and Python for the main core of the web application, and our API that uses the application, and also the iPhone application that you've seen. And we are also using Ruby on Rails for the recommendation engine. And everything is connected to MySQL database, and that's for the backend now. And well, the front end is pretty simple, a lot of JavaScript, jQuery precisely, and we are using Twitter Bootstrap as a framework also for the front end. So that's the main languages that we are using now. The decision to use these languages are related to the way that we work as a lean startup. That's how we define us. We always try to move quickly on the implementation and try to deliver fast to the production server. So that's what we are using right now.
Great. Did you notice? I'm always curious. Did you have any surprises when you're integrating with the YouTube API? Anything that you weren't expecting, or? I'm always just curious how it went when you were integrating with our APIs.
I don't know if surprise is the word, but we were really happy because it was really simple for us to understand and integrate everything. I mean, as I told you, we try to work fast, and and try to deliver fast what we are doing. And I think the main feature for recommendations went very well, went pretty quick, and that's because the API is really intuitive, and also the documentation of the new API is also excellent. You have examples there. You have all you need to know. So it was really simple for us to do that, and in a really short time. So that was surprising for us. Something that you think that maybe it will be difficult to do was pretty simple.
Oh, that's great to hear. That's great to hear. Do you have any features that you wish are part of the API? Like anything on your wish list?
I think that it's pretty complete now. I was checking all the other features that we didn't use yet, and it's pretty complete. I would like to see how it's going to be more integrated with the Freebase. That it's really important for us. So that's more.
So deeper integration with Freebase.
Yeah, deeper integration with that.
Great.
Great.
All right. So let's check to see if we have any questions in the moderator. I see one question that I think might be addressed at you, Jeremy. And the question is YouTube developer relations hiring?
Yes, we're always hiring, specifically for the YouTube team too. So if you're interested in video, coding, check out our site. It's on developers.google.com/jobs, so check that out. And even if you're not interested in YouTube, we have a bunch of positions even outside of that are available. So please check that out.
All right. I think this is it. Thank you very much for joining us today live in the studio. And thank you, Pablo, for joining us live on the Hangout. And we'll see you live next time, same time, 10 a.m. Pacific, Wednesdays, on YouTube Developers Live.
Yes, thank you.
Right, thank you.
Pleasure.